How's it going, Bucs fans? Rachel West here, along with Rick Stroud and Joey Knight. I know it's a pretty sad day for you all. Tom Brady has officially announced his retirement. And Joey, this whole thing unfolded in the weirdest of ways. We thought it was coming Saturday, then it wasn't. Then we thought maybe last night with the podcast, then it wasn't. Tom Brady always keeping us on his toes, on our toes. So why do you think he chose now to make it official?
Well, I think if he had his druthers, he wouldn't have announced it for some time, perhaps after the Super Bowl. I think he wanted to go out on his own terms. I think he deserved that after 22 seasons, with probably a sleekly produced video of he and his family walking off into the West Coast sunset on one of his Man in the Arena episodes, perhaps the documentary finale. But some people, some reporters who were privy to his career for years, for decades, privy to his inner circle, got the information. They found it to be solid information, and they decided they could sit on it no longer. So when it was reported over the weekend, Tom was put in really kind of an awkward situation, and it was more awkward with that podcast Monday night with Jim Gray, where again he kind of hemmed and hawed. And I think Tom just finally decided it was doing nobody any good to keep dragging it out. So he makes the announcement today so as not to infringe on the Super Bowl and that hubbub. He don't want to take anything away from that game. Not the way I think Tom would have chosen to do it, but this is the way we got it in a very, very lengthy Instagram post this morning at 9:47 a.m.
Oh yes, definitely took everyone a good few minutes to read that. So Rick, obviously we all know what Tom Brady has meant to the NFL over the last 22 years, a lot. What in particular has he meant to the Bucs franchise and the city of Tampa?
Well, I think he's meant a ton, and I think that it was a good relationship really for both of them, because Tom Brady was summarily kicked out of the Patriots after 20 seasons. He was a free agent. They were not going to re-sign him. And so he certainly had a look around the league and chose Tampa Bay because he found a young, mostly young, talented team. And then he added to it with guys like Rob Gronkowski and Leonard Fournette and others. And, you have to remember the circumstances that he came here during a worldwide pandemic with no vaccines. They could not gather as a team to practice. He got some guys at Berkeley Prep. They had about 10 days of training camp and then no preseason games and had to start the season. They were 7-5, and they turned it around and won 8 straight, including 3 on the road in the playoffs, and then a Super Bowl, the first team to do it in their home stadium. I mean, it's just a fairy tale story. And I know it was a whirlwind, but the memories are going to last forever here in Tampa. And he made Tampa cool again. He made it a cool place to come and play sports. I mean, it came along at the same time that the Tampa Bay Lightning won 2 Stanley Cups, the Rays go to a World Series and then win the American League. So, this place was hot and back on the map. And I think, when they look back, it was good for Tom Brady. He got to come out of his shell. He got to show himself from a personality standpoint and really grow and love the area. So it was good for both sides.
Definitely became a Florida man during his time down here. So Joey, I think in the immediacy right now, everyone thinks, yes, these last 2 years going all in, definitely worth it, winning that Super Bowl. But kind of looking ahead in the coming seasons, will we all look back on this and say, yes, that was definitely worth it, even if, the team struggles over the next few years?
Yes, 1,000 times yes. One Super Bowl is priceless. Literally, you can't really put a price tag on it. Yes, the Bucs, for lack of a better term, mortgaged the future a little bit in an effort to go all in and try to repeat in 2021. I think in voidable years alone, they have, they pushed about $60 million into the future. So there's going to be some salary cap burdens and some very tough decisions to make in the future. But considering what Tom Brady and his supporting cast gave him these 2 years, 29 wins, the franchise's first division title in about 14 years, not to mention that Super Bowl title. And again, the way Rick stated it, the way he made Tampa cool, made it the place people wanted to come. Think of the prime time games that the Bucs were on television in the last couple of years. It's invaluable. So yes, 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, yes, it was worth it.
Well, there you have it. I'll the answer that. So Rick, I think obviously all the stats over Tom Brady's career are crazy, mind-boggling. 7 Super Bowls. What's more mind-boggling, all of that he was able to accomplish, or the fact that in his last season at the age of 44, he was still at the top of the game and, went out on top?
Yeah, well, that was always the brilliance of Tom Brady. I mean, he was able to relate to guys that were literally half his age and younger. I mean, some of these gentlemen weren't born when he started his NFL career. So it's mind-boggling to think that he could relate, but his leadership style was about, really was about caring as much as anything else. And, for him to do what he did last season is just a testament to the sacrifice he made at age 44 to keep himself in shape. And I think, he always said he wouldn't play if he sucked. Well, he didn't suck. He could still play if he wanted to. There's just way too many pulls on him from a business standpoint with his TB12, with his clothing line, with all the things that he has going on that side of the ledger. But most importantly, a chance to be with his family. He's got 3 kids that are getting older. His oldest son is in New York with his actress mother, Bridget Moynihan, and he's 14. He's got a 12-year-old son, Benji, here, a 9-year-old daughter, Vivian. They're all involved in things too. And so Tom Brady realized that he couldn't make the time commitment and the sacrifice that he needed to make to be a winning quarterback anymore. And it was time for his team at home to enjoy him a little bit more. And so that's what he will do.
He can finally be a dad, be a husband, no longer just a football player. So it'll be good for him. We'll see what exactly is next for Tom Brady. Make sure you guys are keeping it here at Sports by Tampa Bay Times on social media, as well as tampabay.com for all of our Tom Brady and Bucs coverage.